Welcome back to Solomon's Porch with your host, Jason. You look a little bit creepy right now, sir. A little creepy. Yeah. You
Are
gonna
we
say anything?
recording now?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh.
And you gotta remember, we got podcast and YouTube, so.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
was just dead air then.
Yeah,
Is
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah. I mean, it's podcast listeners are kind of used to it anyway. I will say,
well,
though,
they
I
should
was,
be.
I was pleasantly surprised. Somebody hit me up this week and asked on Facebook what song we played during the show. And I was like, oh snap, we got listeners of the podcast because like he would have only known there was a song with Sell Out a Corner in it if he listened to the
All right.
podcast because I don't really talk about the music that we actually play on the podcast on the show anymore. So I thought it was cool, man. It's good just to know there's
Cool.
people still out there rocking with the show. So, but yes, welcome back to the porch with your host Jason and Shawn
And
and
Sean.
and Shawn. And remember, again,
And
we are on
Sean.
YouTube now and on
I'm still here.
podcast. So you can check all of the different platforms, subscribe, like the videos, all that good stuff. Help boost the algorithms. And sponsored by True Strength Apparel. Head to TrueStrengthApparel.com. I just ordered a hat because he's got the new website up. The new website, so you can go check that out. And I have the Pride Comes Before the Fall hat, and it's black with a gray brim. So I'm looking forward to that coming in the mail. And I will
Cool.
hopefully be rocking that on the next episode that we do.
Right
Also,
on.
Peyton Goldston, I'm all yours. He is another sponsor for this show. As the year comes to an end, I've been reflecting on how good God is, even when things around us don't make it feel like He cares, says Goldston. Despite the events this year has brought, meaning 2020, we are still alive to see another day. The new song is an expression of His love to God. So make sure you go check that out. Support those that support the show. That keeps the show going. And yes, we are officially trying to raise about $2,000 for a new computer for this show, so we can do a
Okay.
better live stream. So Sean's not all glitchy at times, and just to make it a
I'm always
better experience. So, and that computer at a bare minimum is going to be about $2,000. So, anyway, let's move on to some news, sir.
all right. Well, uh we've been talking about Black Widow, it seems like forever now. It's definitely been over a year. And
Kind of, sort of.
it's well, yeah, because I mean it was supposed to release in May of last year, so
Yeah.
we were talking about it this time last year. So it's been at least a year now. Yeah. So anyway, Disney is, I think it's has finally come to grips with the fact that they're gonna have to try to release Black Widow in whatever limited capacity it can be in theaters, but then also do a D plus release to be able to try to make up some of the money that they're gonna lose from there not being enough access to theaters or people willing to go to theaters. And it makes sense. I mean, everything else that they're releasing, everything else that's coming up is dependent storyline wise on what's going to take place from Black Widow.
Yeah.
And so you can't move forward with anything else until it finally releases. So I don't think we're going to get another push out. I think we're definitely going to get it when it's slated for in May.
It's like May
Yeah, I don't know.
16th, I think.
My daughter
Something
would
like
kill
that.
me if I didn't know, but I don't. So
Especially hollering from the
anyway,
back room. I will say this though: I found out part of the reason why it's been on hold, and this is conjecture, but decent conjecture, and it does make sense. Is part of the reason why they haven't been able to just throw it on Disney Plus without some type of theatrical release is because of Scarlett Johansson's contract has some sort of theatrical release that is in her contract stipulated. So that might be a reason why they haven't done this the way they did Mulan. And I do know that Disney is reworking all of their contracts with the other cast for the MCU because we don't know how long this is going to last. They don't know how long people are going to avoid theaters or if the theaters are going to really pick back up the way they were before COVID. And so they're trying to rework all that stuff. And it would just make sense to be able to do that because people who are going to see it in theaters are still going to go see it in theaters. and then other people, I think, who didn't want to go to theaters would probably pay a little bit extra to see it in the comforts of their own home. And then some people might do both.
Yeah,
Because
well, I definitely know in this household it'll be both.
exactly.
Um,
So they'd make
yeah,
more money that way.
well, yeah, and it makes sense. So,
Yeah.
but yep, and we've had some sneak peek pictures for Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't know how much anybody's been a big fan of Thor throughout the comic book history, but there's been other people that have played Thor or that has taken on the Thor mantle. And there's been some spin-off, such as Thunderstrike. And it turns out it looks like Thunderstrike's jacket is going to be the new jacket that Thor will be wearing, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool. It's got this sort of sleeveless rock and roll kind of feel to it. I think it fits with the whole Star Lord kind of feel anyway. So, and Guardians are playing a big role in this movie. So James
Oh,
Gunn has been doing some communications with Taika on this movie, so that way the characters stay in sync and has the same kind of feel. So it's I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's gonna be a really great movie.
so they're going to be Koch brothers, is what it's going to be.
Yeah,
See, I
sort
was
of
kind
like
of
that.
upset that Tony Stark and Doctor Strange didn't do the whole um, was it facial hair bros?
Yeah,
Because in the comics, at times they have similar facial hair, so they were like mustache bros or beard bros or something like that. I was upset they didn't do that, even though they did have a good dialogue in the film. So anyway, yeah, I'm very excited for Thor. It's supposed to still be a Thor Odinson film, not just the Mighty Thor, which is Jane
Mighty
Foster
Thor.
becoming Thor. She is going to be in it, and there is going to be a part of her carrying the hammer, but we don't know if that's going to be part of the comic book storyline where she gets cancer and somehow she acquires the power of Thor and gets possession of Mjolnir, or if it's going to be an alternate reality, being that we got the multiverse now, and she might just be Thor in whatever reality that is. So
Yeah.
that's
All
what
right.
I'm guessing is going to be the actual situation. But moving on to some teasers.
Yeah, either way, it's going to be really good. Yeah, so the Super Bowl is supposedly getting some Marvel teasers. So what exactly, we're not entirely certain, but we can suppose that it's going to be some Winter Soldier and Falcon, some Black Widow maybe in there. So as if there wasn't enough reason to watch, um, you know, certain expatriate quarterback fail and lose in the Super Bowl. But besides that, the commercials are always worth watching anyway, and now even more so. So it'll be interesting to see what it is that they end up teasing there. So WandaVision, we did a review on WandaVision, and I think overall we weren't too favorable with our review. We weren't feeling it after the first two episodes, but now we're four episodes in, and without giving any kind of spoilers, or at least not really much in the way of spoilers, could you give us a feeling about where you are now? Are you liking it any better? Is it fleshed out more, or is it just as lost in limbo?
No, it's definitely picking up. It's getting better. The first two episodes, to me, they were good for what they were. It wasn't,
Okay.
it wasn't great MCU content. It was just interesting to kind of see a different aspect of their story. However, have you seen episode 4?
Yeah.
Okay, I really love what they're doing now.
Mm-mm.
Without any like spoilers necessarily, unless if you're on social media at all, you do know that they finally jump into the real world. You get more information about kind of the what's going on from the sword angle with the what's her name, Monica Rambeau's character. We get Jimmy Choo, um, or what's his
Wait a
name?
minute. Now you are giving spoilers.
Well, I mean, they're in the trailers. I'm not giving you anything that wasn't in
Okay.
trailers.
Well, then
Uh,
in that case, Darcy's shown up.
yeah, yeah. So that was cool, and seeing her and Jimmy, like their uh their on screen chemistry was great. It was,
Absolutely. And I think it very much needed, especially when you're
yeah.
talking about from that quote unquote real world sort of perspective where everything's really serious and fairly matter of fact. We've got this nice little play in there. It's not even a banter, it's just a nice playfulness in there. But of course, I can't think of the actress's name for Darcy. I mean, sarcasm just oozes from her naturally anyway. So it just makes for an extra nice dynamic, I think, that the show really needs.
I just wanted
And
to get her a cup of coffee.
actually, I kind of want to get a donut or something.
But
But anyway,
it was good though. I think it's getting better. It's getting more exciting. We're getting more story. So, we're
yeah,
gonna move along. We're only 4 episodes in, and I'm really excited to see how things progress from here. So
yeah, me too, me too. All right, so still keeping with some Marvel news. We've sort of talked about it before, but there seems to be more whispering going on that whether it's Agents of Shield or if it's going to be Sword, whatever. But specifically, we're hearing Agents of Shield coming back and it coming onto D plus, keeping the same continuity that they had from ABC, and so that means same characters as well. And I I I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the idea of it moving on into a Sword thing instead of keeping an Agents of Shield, but at the same time, I mean, I always enjoyed Shield. There were definitely seasons that were better than others, or some that just weren't that awesome. But I always enjoyed it, and I love the characters. Kind of feel invested in the characters anyway. I mean, who doesn't love Coulson? Just saying.
yeah, I think they need something for Earth. Swords more. They're trying to get out into the cosmic world, the cosmic threats, and I think having something that's more Earth based is good for the Earth based characters. And I think if they keep that separated, then I think it'd be a little bit easier. But I
It,
don't know.
it,
Go ahead.
oh, well, I was gonna say, but I mean, Shield was already kind of going there anyway.
Yeah,
So
true, true. The I was going to add here that is not on the news. I didn't put up there. Is that so? They announced this Secret Invasion. I think it's a show, which will have Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, and it's going to have Skrulls, obviously, because they're the invaders of Earth, and so that's coming, and so I'm excited to see that. And something that was interesting I saw this week was Keanu Reeves. He's got his own comic book called Berserker, or I don't know how it's announced, but it's Brzrkr. And he's encouraging people to go shop at their local comic book shops, which is pretty cool. And
yeah,
we've always encouraged people to go to your local comic book shop to read stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got Marvel Unlimited and DC Infinity because I like reading all the old stuff, and I just don't have room for everything that I want to read in my house, and I don't have the money to buy it all. But I do still buy stuff from a local comic book shop. And so
right.
Keanu Reeves is also encouraging you to do the same. And moving
Yeah,
on,
so
go ahead.
Berserker is an immortal, half human, half god, who happens to resemble Keanu Reeves himself. Go figure.
Yeah, yeah. So it's something that he's got his hands all over, which is interesting. So I'm pretty sure in the comic book he's going to have several guns, more
Yeah.
guns.
Well,
Lines.
you get this image of sort of a cross between John Wick and Wolverine. So
Yeah, I don't
I,
know.
I'm
I'm interested.
yeah, I haven't seen it yet myself, but we don't get to our shop in that often because it's kind of far away. But
Yeah,
it might be time for a trip.
I'm gonna see if he's got it. I'm gonna make sure he's got it. So,
Yeah.
so Justice League, the Snyder Cut, is set to release on HBO Max on March 18th. So we're a little more than a month away. I'm really hoping they have a whole lot of footage tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Sunday night during the Super Bowl. It's going to be a 4 hour film, not a 4 part 1 hour series, a 4 hour film. So I got to make sure I'm off that day because I'm going to sit there and watch the whole 4 hours. And not too far after that or before that is actually going to be Godzilla vs. Kong, which is also going to be released. And I'm excited to see that. But I'm way
Yep.
more excited to see the Snyder Cut. We need to have like a Justice League party or something and
Okay.
celebrate that. Also, so you have well, I was going to mention that I just started reading a Star Wars High Republic book, The Light of the Jedi, and I'm only a few hours left in it, and it's finally starting to pick up a little bit. So the book is a little lax. I don't know if it's just because there's so much world building in it that they can't just jump in full steam ahead. But anyway, show. I'll let you go into that.
Yeah, so Star Wars, if you follow or if you get emails from StarWars.com, there's the show Star Wars High Republic show. It's debuted. It has already debuted. It's been out for a little while, so as of this recording, but it's still relatively new. It explains a lot about where they're going with High Republic, what they're trying to do. They talk about some of the collaborations that were taking place between authors and creators, and it, it was less than 20 minutes long, so definitely well worth the time to be able to sit there and watch it. And I would definitely encourage that you watch it because there's a lot of great graphics and artwork that helps to give you a better sense as to what these characters look like. And so if you're going to read or listen to it, a book on Audible, pick up the comic books, Star Wars Insider. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's almost overwhelming the avenues in which there is information or storylines out there for Star Wars now.
Yeah.
Um, it you almost have to have a second job to keep up with buying everything to be able to stay in it all. So a little bit disappointed, slightly jaded from a Star Wars fan myself, but anyway, the High Republic show definitely worth watching. Helps explain things.
Yeah, as I
Check
was
them out.
looking through the images that were shown, I thought it was pretty cool to be able to put images with the characters you're reading about, which is helpful,
Right.
and especially the Nihil characters because for some reason I was envisioning the characters similar to Inquisitors, but they're nothing like Inquisitors,
Right.
like at all, and so it was helpful to see those. So real quick, just something kind of random was I saw that Netflix reported 203.7 million subscribers for the last quarter in 2020, the
I wonder why.
highest rating or the highest subscription count for any streaming platform. So Netflix beat out HBO, Disney, Hulu, everybody, which was interesting because so many people dropped it when Cuties came out. So now it's not new subscribers. This is just the number of subscribers they had for that last quarter in
Right.
2020. So I just thought it was really interesting that they were able to maintain so many to the point where they were still the number one streaming platform as far as subscribers go. So so yeah, man. Real quick, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. We are trying to grow that. We have this show content up there. We're going to have album reviews, all sorts of other stuff. Bible with Bordeaux, and we're going to try to do some YouTube exclusive stuff as well that just function better for YouTube and not podcast platform. And we also have some merch, all of that stuff. There's going to be links in the description on podcast and YouTube, so you can go check out all of our different items that we have. And we're still kind of sort of working on that on the back end, so hopefully we can have some more stuff for you to check out. And let's go into some music news.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm listening to Brutality's album right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Music news. Relent is working on their new album. We've talked about that before on the show, but they do have a new single. Think You Got It.
I like it.
I like it too, but I definitely thought when I heard it, I was like, Jason's gonna dig this because it's got that old school rap rock feel to it. So
Yeah, yeah. And they did a really good job too.
yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, even if you're not like necessarily a big fan of rap rock, this still stands out just the same. So
yeah, man.
August Burns Red dropped a new single, "Standing in the Storm." Also a fairly unique video to accompany it. I'm not. What do you think about the video?
Was that the animated one? Or
Yeah,
kind of animated? Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. It was interesting. It was interesting. I
yeah.
mean, I didn't really have a lot of like amazing thoughts about it necessarily. Uh, I don't know. It takes a lot of a music video to impress me.
Well, I would say this. I enjoyed the video more than I enjoyed the track.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a decent track. Don't get me wrong, but it didn't make me sit up and go, "Whoa, dude, that's something." Not that the video necessarily did that either, but it was it made it more interesting, I think. So, but anyway, still check it out, especially if you are an August Burns Red fan. If you are an August Burns Red fan, you've probably already listened to it, but if you're interested, check it out. It's definitely worth picking up anyway, just the same. On February 12th, it's just right around the corner, Love and Death release party for Perfectly Preserved. So they are doing a live streaming release party. You can buy tickets for as little as $15 for the release party, which seems to be kind of the going rate these days for a live stream concert kind of event from a band. So not too bad. You can get a bunch of folks together, and they can all chip in a couple dollars to be able to pay for the one ticket, and you all can sit there and watch it together. Um, but they do have packages as high as $1,200, which includes, I think, a guitar or something like that, some vinyl, a T-shirt, or whatever. But they have other packages that cost, they vary in price between those ranges.
Yeah, I saw that and I
So,
was like, man, somebody's going to spend their tax return on that.
right?
So yeah, man. Moving on to some CHH news, we have Flame. He dropped an EP, "Christ for You." It's kind of in a vein of a series now. So he did the other album that he had, Extra Nos, and that one was just talking about his transition to more of the Lutheran theology, where in this one he kind of continues to go that route, and he's almost speaking against Calvinism. But this whole entire EP is like a Bible study on the body and the blood, as far as like Passover, the Last Supper, that kind of an idea. It's like a whole 6-7 song EP on that, and like it just kind of keeps flowing from one to another. So if you're not a fan of deep Bible study type of stuff, this is probably not going to necessarily be for you. If you just want something kind of fluffy and lighthearted and just something to vibe out to, this is not for you. This is a person who is very interested in theology and doctrine. That's what this is for. That's what Flame has been on here lately, and he's kind of always been like that too. So, but in this, he
Yeah.
specifically is diving into the body and the blood of Christ. So, also AI the Anomaly from God Over Money has a new album called Souls Acrylic, and I gotta say, man, she impresses me every time she releases something. She just is very unique. She's very artistic. Even the artwork is phenomenal. And she was on my EP, so that gives you more reason to check it out. So, but I mean, just in general, she is probably one of the best rappers in the CHH game right now, in my opinion. In my opinion, definitely one of the best artists as a whole. So, GB, he's not a stranger of the show. He's got a new track called "I'm Tired," and I gotta say, as soon as I heard Dave Chappelle at the very beginning, I was extremely happy. And it's not funny Dave though. It's Dave when he was talking about the George Floyd incident, and
Wow.
so he's just talking about being tired of the kind of things
What's
that black
going on?
men. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but
Yeah.
it's still a great track. Go check it out. And Brutality, they have a new album coming out.
Yeah. I don't know how this got so far down on our list. It should have been up at the top. So yeah, Brutality's album Worldwide Desolation. It drops this Friday as of this recording. So probably by the time that you're listening to this, it's already out. You can still get physical CDs if you're one of those people that like physical CDs. Yes, that's me. I actually pre-ordered a CD at Rottweiler Records, and or you can just go ahead and get the download. And what's usually really cool about their downloads is that you get to pick what format you prefer. So if you want it just as an MP3, or if you like FLAC files, you can download a FLAC or WMA, whatever. So if you like the high quality lossless files and you've got a media player that supports that, you can download those types of files. So really
That's pretty
pretty
cool.
neat.
And we're actually gonna be not interview. I'm gonna be interviewing them this Friday actually, so we'll have an interview with that band up this weekend. And also we're gonna be doing the album review because we got an early sneak peek of the album, which is the first.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So we'll be doing that on the show as well today. And so stay tuned for that. And also Rare Breed. Uh,
Yeah, Rare dropped some remixes on us,
yeah,
and
and
I did you get to listen to them all?
yeah, man, I got the email, and then you sent the email to me, and so I listened to
Okay.
it twice. But Aaron Simpkins over at True Strength Apparel, he hit me up and he said, "Man, I really love what Rare is doing right now, and
Yeah.
just what he's doing with those remixes on TikTok, and to me, he legit is one of my favorite Christian hip hop artists. Like just hands down, every time he drops a single, really excited to hear it. Everything he's done for the past several years has been great. These remixes are great, and you could just feel the sense of worship in what he does. Like,
Well, that and he's he's exploring this new God
yeah,
twang thing going on.
twang
Um,
thing.
twang thing, bang, thwang. I don't know. Anyway, Fight My Battles remixed was really good. I dug that a lot. I really liked Mood.
Cool,
That
cool.
was probably one of my favorite tracks. So, but you can only get these tracks if you subscribe to his email, right?
Yeah, yeah. Head over to rarebreed.com. Go follow him on Instagram, rarebreed, and you'll be able to listen to those, watch them, and all that good stuff. Because the remixes of secular songs, he can't necessarily release them on regular media platforms. But if you're on the
Right.
email list, you get to listen to them via Dropbox. So shout out to Rare for doing that. So that's it for the news. We're going to be back. We're going to do something a tiny bit different in the next segment. This will be a first.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with that. Stay tuned.